Hello everyone and welcome to my tutorial for Hand Reflexology to boost the immune system. Now obviously this is very important at the moment as we jointly battle COVID-19, but it can be used at any time of the year. As well as viral infections, it may help to move along bacterial or fungal infections. It may help people with ME or chronic fatigue syndrome. And it may also help people with allergies or with rheumatoid arthritis. Obviously, it's really beneficial to carry out this sequence in the run-up to and during the winter months as well. Now, I'd advise you while you're performing hand reflexology to always use a hand lotion of some description. Now, it doesn't matter which hand lotion you choose, it's merely so that you've got a little lubrication, because I'll be asking you to perform some sliding motions, and if you perform those motions without any sort of lubrication, it can sometimes just make the pads of your fingers and thumbs a little sore. Now, if you are interested in essential oils or would like to gain extra benefit from this treatment by using essential oils, that is absolutely fine and will really help to move along the process of the immune system just having that extra kick and being boosted. So the essential oils that I would recommend are frankincense, eucalyptus and lemon. Now you would want to use these with a base cream that is either unfragranced or that has a very gentle background fragrance, and this is just so that it doesn't take over from the scent of the essential oils. Now the one that I use at home is Superdrug's Vitamin E body cream. As you can tell, a large tub of this will go ever such a long way. It only costs £2.99 for a large tub, and there's nearly always a special offer to be had as well, so it's a really good gentle base cream to use. So as I'm doing now, I would always suggest to you, if you're going to be using this on yourself, whereas we normally, if we're going to apply any sort of hand lotion or cream, we might sort of, slap it on in a hurry and just quickly, briskly rub it in and that's it. But I would advise you just to take the time while you're performing this hand reflexology anyway, just take the moment just to nicely massage your hands. Any movement that you want to perform is absolutely fine, but just take a moment just to really work around. This area at the base of the thumb is always somewhere that needs some special attention. But just take a moment just to nicely work that lotion in and just to relax your hands a little. Now this, as well as obviously the hand massage, can be used on somebody else as well, and actually it's a really nice bonding thing to do, especially for parents with their children, teenagers especially. It's a really lovely bonding thing to do, and you can either do it obviously sitting opposite each other at a table with a towel in the centre, or just on each other's laps is absolutely fine. So each reflex point that I'm going to show you should be worked roughly 3 times, and it should be performed on both of your hands. There's only one point where there's an exception to that, and I'll explain that to you in a moment when we get there. So the first point that we're going to use on our hands is for the liver and the spleen. Now the liver is a major organ that's concerned with the elimination of any waste in our body, so it's really important that we stimulate that just to properly give ourselves a lovely deep cleanse. So the area on your hand is, you'll notice just under the little thumb here, it spans all the way across the fingers, but under the little thumb there's a padded area, and then you can see on my hand I've got that natural crease there, which you'll have as well. So where we want to start is we're going to be working under that crease, We're going to move across to in between all of the fingers there, the centre in between the fingers. We're going to be working down and across. So it's this area that we're going to want to cover on both hands. And the way that we do this is to simply slide with our thumb or finger, whatever's easiest for you, slide all the way across till we reach that point there, and then do another row, and so on until you've performed. It would take probably roughly 5 rows to cover the whole of that reflex area. Perfect. Now on me, obviously that was looking very awkward because I'm having to show you it this way for demonstration purposes, but obviously you would just be performing it in your lap, one hand supporting the other, and just working your way across there. It actually feels really nice because, again, it's another common place for tension in our hands is this this padded area here. So then you would start on the other hand doing exactly the same thing in the same place. So 5 rows down and perform that approximately 3 times. Lovely. Now I'm going to show you the reflex area for the lungs. Now that is, so I said already about this little padded area under your little finger here, but obviously it goes and spans all the way across and underneath all of your fingers down to about here. Now this whole area works the lungs. Now with any of the reflexes I will show you in any of my other videos and this video as well, for most of them it doesn't matter what direction you work the reflexes in, it will do the same job. As long as that reflex is stimulated, that's absolutely fine. With the lungs, it's really, really important that we work them in a certain way. So we need to be working from the base of the lungs towards the top. And this is because if you think, use an example of viral infections, the way most of us will contract a viral infection is through our airways. What we want to do is we want to eliminate any that sort of infection or particles in our body. So we want to be working from the base of the lungs up through our elimination, which would normally be a cough or what have you. Equally, if you've got something like a bacterial chest infection, you'll have things like mucus and that heaviness on your chest that you want to be bringing up. So really important that we work in this exact direction. So again, using your thumb or your index finger, whichever is easiest for you, just gently slide from the base to the top, lifting off at the end. And you want to do this right the way across. You'll notice that it feels really, really nice there as I'm sort of going in between the metatarsals, in between the fingers. It feels really lovely just to kind of release any tension that you've got in that hand. Is lovely. So again, we'll do that 3 times on each hand. Very, very important. I'll just do it twice for demonstration purposes. Perfect. Now at this point to note, if you're a reflexologist watching this video and you're trying to refresh your hand reflexology skills, where I'm sliding, doing a sliding motion, you'll want to be using your thumb walk. Okay, so the next part of the body that we want to stimulate is the kidneys. And just on top of the kidneys, we've got the adrenal glands, and they're in exactly the same spot on our hands. Again, the kidneys are responsible for eliminating waste from our body, so it's a really good one to target. So where the kidneys are is, you see this webbing that we have here in between the thumb and the index finger. We want to aim sort of in the middle part of there, and using a pinching motion, we want to go in as far as approximately there. So just where, I don't know whether you can see if I go on a darker background, so just where you've got the crease there of the first joint of your index finger, you want to be that far in. And like I say, it's sort of a pinching motion to see the other side we're doing that. So what you want to be doing here is just pinching 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And again on the other side. 1, 2, 3. You can actually feel that webbing there. You know, you're not feeling bone, you're feeling that the webbing in between the fingers. Perfect. Now the next reflex we want to be working is the large intestine, again stimulating that elimination along. Now this one is only to be performed on the left hand. The part that we want to aim for is we have this padded area that we worked over, obviously the top of it we worked over as part of the liver and the spleen. But we want to be starting down on that padded area to slightly more towards the centre rather than the centre of the padded area. We want to be going in a little so that we're just still on the fleshy area but almost the side of the fleshy area there. And we're going to be starting about there. Now what we want to do is we want to slide up, and as you can see you're aiming really for that point here in between the little finger and the one next to. So slide up, but you only want to go to halfway. You then want to turn, pivot that finger and just circle. Now this point here is a flexure in the large intestine, and it's where a lot of waste matter can get stuck. So that's why we really want to give that a really nice circle there. And then once you've done that, go straight across the palm, and you can stop roughly there, almost to where the kidney and adrenal point is. Okay, so just showing you again, sliding up, reach that point, pivot and circle, and slide across. Perfect. Again, we're going to be doing this 3 times. I'll show you again because this one's slightly trickier. Halfway up, circle and pivot, or pivot and circle, whichever way around you want to do, and slide across. Perfect. Now the final point that we want to stimulate is the lymphatic system. Now the lymphatic system is the major part of our immune system in our body, so it's really, really important. If you're out and about and you can't remember any of the rest of this routine, if you're only going to remember one part of the routine, remember this part. So it's the only one that's performed on the back of the hand. So we're going to be going in between each of our fingers. We're going to slide down using your index finger, slide down. Now you can feel there that you're actually going in between the 2 bones. I've got horrible old lady bony hands, and so you'll be able to see this really clearly on me. Luckily for you, not so lucky for me. So you want to be sliding down to about halfway and do that in between each finger. Lovely. And again, perform this 3 times on each hand. What I like about any of these hand reflexology techniques are that if you're out and about in public, you can do these without anyone knowing what you're doing. People would think that you're either wringing your hands or you are putting on hand lotion, anything like that. So say if you're in some sort of environment and someone is sneezing, say on the train, just as a sort of closed example. If you're on the train and someone's coughing and sneezing away and you're thinking to yourself, oh crikey, great, as you do, all you would literally have to do, put some hand cream on if you've got it, but if not, really doesn't matter at all, and just give yourself that nice boost. And no one would think anything of the fact that your hands were in your lap and you're just giving yourself that nice boost of your lymphatic system, your immune system having that lovely boost. Perfect. And that's the routine finished. So just to recap, firstly, we worked the liver and the spleen across in our 5 rows to be performed on both hands. Then we worked the lungs, bottom to top, all the way across 3 times on both hands. We then worked the kidneys, which also will stimulate our adrenal glands, pinching and squeezing 3 times on each hand. The next movement was the large intestine, to be worked on the left hand only. We're working up that starting spot just to the side of the fleshy point here, following the direction of going in between those 2 fingers. We're sliding up, turning and pivoting, taking a while to circle and sliding across roughly to that point there. And then the last all-important one, we're sliding in between to about halfway down, in between each of the fingers there, following the lines of the metatarsals for the lymphatic system. Perfect. So thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please hit like, subscribe. Do feel free to share, especially, as many people that can have this information at the moment would be wonderful. And please hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you can be made aware of any future videos that I release. So thank you again for watching and stay safe.